Hello everyone. My name is Hiwata, and I'm here to bring you probably the most exciting game of Age of Empires 4 yet to be uploaded to this YouTube channel. Today, we have spawning on the left side of Dry Arabia, Marine Lord as the French, opening up with a Scout out of the TC, and his opponent on the other side of the map in the red, we have Hera, also opening with a Scout from the TC, also playing the French. Now, this game is game one of a best of, I believe, best of 5 or best of 7 series between these two players as part of the EGC Winter Championship. I will link below to their Discord server so you can find out more information and maybe even participate in the future or watch the event live on their Twitch. I digress, though. Today, I'm here to bring you a casted game because that does imply that it happened in the past. Both these players are very high-level players. Marine Lord being from StarCraft 2, a very, very high-level and notorious player in that scene. And Hera, the Canadian Age of Empires 2 Pro turned Age of Empires 4 Pro. Both these players have been dedicating a lot of time to this game. I love to see it, and I'm really excited to see what this match has in store for us. Now, Hera opting to open with 8 vills onto the food, whereas our opponent over yonder, Marine Lord, he's on 7 on food and going to the gold just a little bit earlier and producing more vills over there as time goes on. Take a look at our scouting for a moment here and see what we see. Hera beelined his way across the map, actually. Not getting too many sheep in the process. Only, I think, the 3 or 4 that were at home originally. And not finding all that many by just running across the map the way that he has. When you compare it to the scouting of, rather, Marine Lord has kind of gone around the map a little bit better to find his food economy. So, starting off at the beginning of this game, Marine Lord's going to have a safer food economy under his TC, but that can change very quickly. With 2 players playing French, you could see professional scouts come out in this game. It's really hard to say right now, but either way, we should see some control or aggression coming out from these players on the map relatively soon. We're going to opt to go to the feudal age relatively quickly to get those early knights out and try to raid our opponent and get that early map control and early aggression going, as the French is known for. In a French versus French mirror matchup, however, I'm not sure. I haven't really played that matchup myself, so I'm not really too sure what the nuances of that matchup actually are. You could see an instance where you have, I know Aussie Drongo actually uploaded a cast today between 2 players, I think it was DeMuslim and Hera, where, from the same tournament actually, where neither player went for upgraded cavalry and just went straight to like massing out as many units as they could for a critical mass. So Hera actually finding a lot of sheep. I didn't realize he was going to be able to find that many. Maybe he kind of transitioned from one scout to the other to bring those home. I digress, though. Sheep aren't the most important part of the game. The most important part of the game is winning. Marine Lord opting to go up already into the next age at the 243 mark, let's say, with the School of Cavalry. Hera, on the other hand, starting at the 250 with the School of Cavalry. So should see a knight out just a tiny bit earlier for our blue player, Marine Lord. Going to go for the harass on the gold to try to prevent the knight production in the second age. Hera not pulling off just yet. Going to try to get his TC to get some fire on this this scout here. Could have been worth to put some vills in the TC, but when you do that, you have idle time on your food economy, and therefore you're not able to get enough food even for those knights potentially, or even enough food to continue your villager production. Hera going onto the wood as well, and just a little bit of harass going on. The scout saying, "I'm out of here. See you later, alligator." And this guy's sticking around trying to get some picks. We're trying to get him under the fire of the TC, and has now been triggered and now going to be pushed off that gold for just a little while longer. Other side of the map, however, we have Hera getting ready to do a little bit of raiding as well, finding the stone of his opponent, which is relatively well protected, I'd say, close enough to the TC. We actually haven't talked about the spawns for these 2 players just yet. I digress, though. Hera might go for a little bit of aggression on the gold here. The range of Marine Lord's TC is just a little bit further away from this gold deposit, so he's actually able to get a little bit more of an effective push, an effective raid here, and not have to take as much damage from that TC. While we were waiting a moment here, looks like the vills did get actually pushed off of the gold for a moment here. Just a little bit too much micro to deal with at one time while defending your base and also trying to age up and producing villagers onto wood, so on and so forth. So let's take a look for a second here at the base itself. We have our berries in the back for Hera, nice and well protected. Gold is just within the range of the TC fire. It's actually a really decent spot. And our stone is not too far out, kind of more similar to the gold that Marine Lord has. Hera actually finishing up with the age up early because he took those vills off the gold and put them onto the School of Cavalry instead. So interesting call. Across the map, we still have some raiding going on here with Hera on the gold. Gonna have those villagers start to do some damage as well. We're seeing some animation canceling, our absolute favorite kind of canceling. And these scouts aren't going to get too much done. They're going to force some idle time for sure, but they're not going to be able to actually get any picks off the villagers and cause too much economic impact. This scout coming back to also support his friends back at home. Marine Lord's still trying to take care of Hera on the gold, push him off and stop that knight production. We have one knight coming out already for Hera, and one knight already finished producing for Marine Lord. So now the scouts have to respect that. They can't just stick around too much. Hera's going to still try to be a little cheeky here, get some more damage done, some more idle time done, especially considering the knight is not across the map yet, and he knows that only one scout is outside of his base, so his knight will be able to take care of that one scout of Marine Lords, and he's able to cause a little bit more of a problem over here. In the meantime, however, this lone knight going to make his way across the map to try to join that scout and harass the economy of Hera, hopefully able to do some economic damage there. We'll have to find out in just a moment here. So, while Hera is busy trying to animation cancel and get some picks on villagers, I don't think he's killed any just yet. Let's take a look at our income per minute. Income per minute right now, we are in favor of Hera in all categories, gold, wood, and food, with 14 on food, 3 on wood, and 6 on gold, versus the 16 on food, 2 on wood, and 6 on gold for Marine Lord. But mind you, Marine Lord's gold villagers have had to be idle for a little while longer due to the harassment coming out of the Hera scouts. We're getting ready for the stable now for Marine Lord. Going to opt to put up some more cavalry into the mix here. Hera, other side of the map, does not have any other military production facilities just yet. But now this lone knight from Marine Lord is finally coming back. This other knight, though, has popped out. We got 2 actually popping out. He was anticipating this push, and now, all of a sudden, Marine Lord is being pushed completely off the base of Hera. He's not going to be able to do too much. He has this knight and the scout pushing away the scouts over here. He knew another knight was having to come to his base to do some harass because of the lingering scout that was here. And great job by Hera repelling that harassment, putting him into another further economic, words are hard, another advantageous economic position was what I was trying to say. And now popping out with another stable of his own, going to try to get some more knights produced. And we're seeing more and more coming out from Marine Lord as well. So now we're kind of waiting to see what exactly happens. Who's going to have the better micro? Who's going to be able to boom a little bit harder behind it? Based off of what we've seen so far in income per minute, it's Hera for sure. Hera with the more villagers on the gold versus Marine Lord. There's more villagers overall. I think we're at 28 versus 26 or 27. So a couple picks actually did go down, it looks like, for Hera against the villagers of Marine Lord. And now we're just kind of chilling. We're kind of waiting to see what happens. Hera's perspective on the map here. He's got some knights across the map, trying to see if there's any aggression coming towards him, get some picks on some rotations potentially, and now opting to go for a raid onto the gold economy of his opponent. That is where you want to do the most damage as against the French, so they can stop producing those knights. Finding the wood line, finding the stable, being scouted out by Marine Lord, however, he did have the knowledge that this was coming in. The stable did have just enough vision to be able to see that was coming. Knights not so much. They have a very small radius of field of view, rather. I guess the radius of vision too. Either way, we're just building up those numbers right now. Knights moving across the map for Marine Lord as well. Hera back at home. Does he have many knights here? Not really. He's moved on to his back deer, so he's actually very vulnerable here, thus putting up a tower. But it's not going to be enough for all 9 of these villagers. He might need to put up another one if he doesn't want to lose anything. And now the scout with the vision on the food economy of Hera. Gonna pick off that scout, and now there's 2 fights going on here. There's the 3 knight raid going against the gold mining villagers of Marine Lord, and there's a huge raid going on at the food production of Hera. However, going to be less effective considering he's able to stick back and keep gathering those deer, and the tower was already there to hide his villagers away. And now Hera's knights going to be able to push them off. There's, what, 5 versus 5 units technically, but 4 knights and 1 scout. And Hera doing some splitting over here to try to pull away after that harassment of the gold villagers. Forcing a lot of idle time actually out of Marine Lord. All 9 of his gold mining villagers are idle at the moment, which is actually really concerning. He's too preoccupied with what's going on across the map. He's focusing his attention here. He's focusing attention here. And those villagers are still idle to this very moment. It's been about 10 seconds or so, and now finally hopping back onto that gold. Wolf procking onto the knight. Just another great convenient thing to happen to Marine Lord today. And looks like right now momentum is in favor of Hera. He's going to be able to continue raiding, continue doing his thing, and kind of finding some opportunities to cause more economic idling from his opponent. Looks like we actually have pulled our villagers off for a little while longer in order to get a tower up. While it is the correct call to protect your gold economy, I think this might be a little too late actually. I mean, keeping some knights at home may have been a better play in order to actually fight the knights themselves and not cause more idle time necessarily, but I digress. It's not going to be too much of a problem for Hera. He's going to be able to run away and get a little bit of damage off, force more idle time. Food villagers finally being forced off of this area. Looks like a couple picks did go down for Marine Lord against those villagers, when Hera's knights are still at home protecting their people, making sure they're nice and well taken care of. So this is going to cause a bit of a problem here. Marine Lord sitting on 33 builds for the 35 of Hera, a little bit ahead. Hera down 1 military unit, but I think that's just a scout. And the defensive positioning is just going to be better for Hera, considering the range of the TC onto that gold. It's a really lucky spawn, I would say, for Hera. He really got away with almost with murder in that sense. He's able to pull back very easily and have the town center proc onto his opponent. And looks like we're actually pulling a lot of villagers on the gold for whatever reason for Hera. So I guess those villagers who were on the food before are getting pulled off in order to maintain the production of the knights. We're gonna come down to a couple more here. It's really really close game right now. Lots of animation canceling happening right here as well. So there's looks like Hera has won this fight pretty decisively. Again, the town center fire really doing a lot to help out Hera in that scenario. Back on this side of the map, however, Hera does have 4 knights. Hera is really, really good at splitting his attention across the map. He's really confident in his ability to be in multiple places at once, and look at the amount of idle time that he's forced out of Marine Lord this game is ridiculous. He still has idle villagers under the gold. These villagers are going somewhere. I don't know where they're building a mill on the berries over here because they've been forced off. Not forced off, rather. They cleaned up all the deer carcasses, and now they're gonna go do some vegan berry gathering. But still, Hera's knights on the map are doing quite a bit of work. Marine Lord only sitting on 5 military units versus the 10 of Hera. It's just going to be a really decisive fight here. I don't really know what more Marine Lord can do. He might be able to put up some walls potentially to protect his economy. I don't see a lot of professional high-level players who are on the French putting up a lot of walls. And it does take away from a lot of the strengths of the French when you have to think about turtling and you want to be aggressive and you want to take control and have complete momentum of the match. But it turns into the situation where if you aren't able to do that, you're behind on your wood economy. Like, Marine Lord has no villagers gathering wood right now. It's all food, all gold to get up those knight numbers and make sure that we're able to build a military to combat this. But back at home, Hera is just booming. Income per minute is hugely in favor of Hera right now. Gold, food, and especially wood. Even though he only has 5 villagers on there, the none of Marine Lord make it rather difficult. I would have liked to have seen some walls come up for sure to protect some of this economy. A tower coming up, not going to be enough to hold off these knights, I don't think. There's a lot of vills here. Only 5 can fit in this tower. You can just get a couple picks and really disrupt that economy, or just go for the cavalry themselves. Looks like we're charging in right now for a bit of another engagement. Tower fire is going to do a good enough job to clean up some of these knights for sure, but animation canceling is going to be Hera's best friend here. Getting a couple picks himself, I believe. Actually, never mind, not quite yet. 2 knights going down. This one lone knight going to run away, or just barely able to make it out with his life, and now more knights joining him to hold the front, and still more knights from Hera just kind of chilling around the map. Where are they right now, actually? Lots in his base right now, just kind of building up a force. He's unsure if there are more knights. Maybe not unsure, but he might be wary of some more knights on the map from Marine Lord if he's able to pump out some more. If he's been hiding some for a little while, might be able to kind of swoop around over yonder and get some economic damage going for him. But income per minute is still just heavily in favor of Hera. There's been no counter boom to this aside from moving everybody onto food. So he's not built any more military production facilities. Another stable could be useful. It's too late to go into spears because they're not going to be effective enough at this point in the game. And Hera with this fight's what? This is seven knights versus one horseman, and now 3 knights from Marine Lord. It's just momentum's too heavily in favor of Hera here. And there's a bit of a counter raid going on as well down here. Hera with the knight in the back line. It's kind of reiterating my point from before, reinforcing my point that Hera is just so strong at splitting his attention. He has had very little idle time this entire game from what I've seen. He's had some over here when he had to pull off of the deer earlier, but that really didn't add up to too much. And now he's moving these villagers over somewhere else where he's going to go onto the gold at the front of the base, because this gold is going to expire soon at 500 gold left in the outcropping. And now some TC fire for sure will do the trick, but Marine Lord 8 idle, 9 idle villagers, they're idle everywhere. They're not able to do anything because Hera's presence is too strong. And all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, it's kind of in the story of this whole game, I don't think Marine Lord's going to be able to pull out of this one. So with that being said, I'm going to touch on a couple things here. This is only game 1. I am planning on casting the entire series of this match in order to get it up onto the channel and have some more eyes on this game and a high-level, high-stakes tournament. There's a very large prize pool that's been split between these players. Of course, not telling you who won it yet. You guys can find that out after watching all these videos or looking it up yourself. But if you like this video, make sure to like the video down below. Leave a comment letting me know what you thought. How do you feel about the French? How do you feel about this matchup, actually? Because the French versus French matchup is an interesting one. It's all about aggression and early map control. It's kind of like almost playing the Mongols in a sense, but you only go for the knights as opposed to going for... Well, I guess you go for knights too as the Mongols, but they're called lancers when you get them. I digress. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more. Marine Lord going to try to do a little bit more of a push here. He's got another massive knights. He got 9 knights out in the map now, but still 11 for Hera, producing more at home. Pumping some out here, pumping some out there, keeping some back at the base in order to protect him from any potential raids. But all it's really going to take here is just one big push in order to close this out. Hera is so unapologetically ahead in economy. 50 vills versus the 47, which is not too bad. It's just the sheer amount of idle time that's been forced onto Marine Lord by Hera has really cost him a lot of this game. So Hera trying to find some vills, not seeing them, knows that the berry bush has been cleaned up by his opponent. And now we're going to have one last engagement down here, it looks like, between these two players. Seeing the sheer numbers of units that Hera has. Marine Lord, both players actually did some animation canceling, but it's not going to be enough for Marine Lord. Tower Fire sure giving some support here. There's just not enough. Where are his villagers anyways? They're all down here gathering food. It's just so far away from the base. He's going to be able to get picks on the wood line as well. Gold's going to be interrupted if he wins this fight. It's just really not too much that can happen. And Marine Lord calls GG's. Once again, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe for more content just like this for Age of Empires 4. I love this game. I love casting this game. And I'll see you in the next match between these two pro level players. Cheers.